The leaks for chapter 237 of the manga has been released, and this chapter seems more like a warm-up for what is to come. Before we get started, please do me a favor and subscribe, as it is a small thing you can do that will have a huge impact on this channel. Note: I will be using posts from both JJK Maya and JJK Tomsko, as JJK Tomsko's posts were more serial in order and JJK Maya had better translations for a better understanding of what was going on. The chapter starts with the smoke demon Kashimo, as he rushes towards Sukuna. Then he notices a huge lump of ice falling from above him and Sukuna, and it seems another player is entering the battlefield. The player being none other than Urayume, Sukuna's most loyal follower. But another opponent steps into the battlefield as well. This opponent challenging Urayume and the challenger is revealed to be Kinji Haruki, and he says he can't let Urayume live, as he has made a promise to end Urayume. Please, feel free to speculate who Hikari might have made this promise to in the comment section. So, it seems that two tough battles will be taking place in this scene, one between the King of Curses and the Thunder God, and the other between the Ice Star and the Wild Gambler. An unexpected matchup that I think is really great to have in this situation, as we can't just expect the students of Jujutsu High to just stay put mourning Gojo's death. At the end of the video, I will leave my thoughts on certain things concerning the ongoing events of this chapter, so stick to the end. We are then taken back to the battle between Kashimo and Sukuna, and it seems Hikari has Urayume trapped in his domain, which causes the huge lump of ice to evaporate, and the debris fall on top of the two combatants underneath it. We then see Sukuna get a hold of something as the debris of the ice lands on the battlefield, and what Sukuna appears to have caught is one of his cursed tools, which is called Komodoke. We can see Sukuna holding this cursed tool in one of the covers of the manga, when the King of Curses is shown in his true form, with his cursed tools. After Sukuna gets a hold of Komodoke, he proceeds to use the dagger-like tool to blast lightning towards Kashimo, but this doesn't seem to have any effect on Kashimo, as he appears unscathed by Sukuna's attack, which the reason for Kashimo being able to resist this lightning attack is because of his cursed energy, which is electricity. Kashimo then asks Sukuna if he became the strongest, or if he was born the strongest, to which Sukuna answers he won't know, as Sukuna reveals he was an unwanted child. Kashimo then again asks Sukuna how he interacted with people without knowing weakness, as Kashimo confesses he couldn't do so because he saw all other humans as piece of dirt. And it's safe to assume that Kashimo thinking like this, and asking Sukuna these questions, is because he wants to know how Sukuna handled the loneliness that comes with being the strongest. In the next panel, we see Sukuna telling Kashimo he's extravagant, and says Gojo was the same. Then Sukuna calls upon Kashimo to come fight him. To which Kashimo gladly accepts the invitation, and dashes towards Sukuna, and tries to land a hit on Sukuna with his staff, but Sukuna blocks the attack with his cursed tool. Kashimo then activates his cursed technique, which is called Genju Kohasaku. It roughly translates to something like Phantom Beast Amber. Sukuna looks surprised, as Kashimo lands a punch on the King of Curses' face, following up with some sort of breath attack that he blasts towards Sukuna. It is then revealed to us that Kashimo's cursed technique allows his body to blast any kind of attack, which Kashimo can make from his cursed energy. Kashimo then lands another punch on Sukuna. The narrator then lets us know that Kashimo's cursed technique enhances his agility, and the waves he blasts vaporizes anything it touches, but Kashimo surpasses the human body to do this, so as a result, his body will break down once his cursed technique ends. We then get to see Kashimo attempt another blast at Sukuna, but luckily for Sukuna, he evades this attack just in time to avoid getting hit with it. The narrator then lets us know that Sukuna had a way of reviving his body only once, without having to use reversed curse technique, but Sukuna had intentionally refrained from doing so. Next, it seems as though Sukuna recognizes how strong the opponent he's facing is, as the King of Curses then transforms to his true form, the Heian era Sukuna. Well, like I said before, this chapter seems to be more of a warm-up for what is to come. I really hope the battle between Kashimo and Sukuna isn't short-lived and lives up to the hype, like the battle between Sukuna and Gojo. I also like the fact that Hikari steps into the battlefield to battle Sukuna's most trusted aide, Urayume, as we as fans of JJK should know that Urayume is no joke. Plus, this chapter kind of shows us that the students of Jujutsu High won't just be standing idly by, been dumbfounded by the death of their sensei, Satoru Gojo, but will each have an important role to play in the battle. Mostly Yuta and Shoko, as they will be of help in trying to revive Gojo, and though Yuji's role in the battle may still not be clear along with Maki Zenin, we are at least presented with the possibility that they will still have their part to play in this battle that seems to have no end to it. Another thing I love is the fact that Sukuna has finally revealed one of his cursed tools and his true form, and why won't he? He may have defeated Gojo in their climatic battle, but it obviously took a toll on him, and if Sukuna is to fight against the likes of Kashimo, Yuta, Hikari and Maki, he would need a power burst to help him stay in the game, as these characters I have just mentioned are no joke themselves and have witnessed some of the methods Sukuna would use in battle. Sukuna revealing his true form also reveals two things. 1. That Sukuna technically fought Gojo with the power of 20 fingers, which explains why he is able to transform to his true form, because Sukuna substituted the power of his 20th finger for whatever unknown power resided in the body of that Shinbutsu mummy. And 2. Sukuna holding back against Gojo wasn't because he didn't see Gojo as incapable of giving him a good fight at full power, but the opposite might actually be the case, and that is that Sukuna didn't want to fight Gojo in his true form, as Gojo might be able to defeat him if Gojo became accustomed to Sukuna's ways of fighting, as Gojo clearly demonstrates in their battle. Plus, infinity was something that even Sukuna himself admitted was a serious problem, as in his fight with Gojo, defeating Gojo himself was not top priority, but finding a way to make infinity ineffective was. Thus, his reason to not show Gojo what he can do at full capacity and the reason for him having Mahoruga and Agito do most of the fighting for him, while he stayed in the shadows, observing and calculating his best tactics to use against Gojo in his infinity. Which may prove that Sukuna is actually aware that Gojo can defeat him, thanks to Gojo's curse technique, and hence considers Gojo a serious threat to him and his goals. With this, it won't be so far-fetched to say the title of the strongest still belongs to Gojo, as why else would Sukuna reveal his true form to Kashimo and not someone more stronger like Gojo? Yes, I said earlier that him doing so is because of him been weakened in his fight against Gojo, but also, if Sukuna in his true form was so much stronger than Gojo, he won't have much of an issue going all out against Gojo, as in JJK, the strongest usually have a habit of displaying or flexing powerful techniques to opponents they are clearly stronger than, and also, the strongest have a very selfish and yet overly confident mindset, hence the reason why they occupy the seats of the strongest. This is something we see evident in the mindset of people like Gojo, Kashimo and even Sukuna. So he should be confident enough that his strength is sufficient to defeat Gojo in his infinity, the same way Gojo was confident he could beat 20 Fingers Sukuna. And let's not forget the confidence that Gojo displayed in his own ability to handle Sukuna, Mahoruga and Agito in a 3 vs 1 situation. I explained this more in my previous video, but as I said before, Sukuna still has the chance to prove me wrong on this, and it depends on how efficiently he fights in his true form with his original cursed techniques and tools from now on. As always, this is I Am Not a Weeb, and if you enjoyed this video please consider leaving a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts on the comments section below. Also let me know how I can improve and create better content on this channel. Stay tuned for more. God bless.